What's up, everybody, and welcome to another wonderful episode of The Break Room, brought to you by Life of Gaming. We have water cooler conversation in your face.
That's gonna have a good ring to it.
Oh, man. But today we're going to be talking about a little console known as Xbox in a company called Microsoft.
Whoa.
And Brant is going to enjoy his crackers.
For the second time.
He's
man.
taking this break room thing very literal.
He is enjoying himself. But now, Chris, this is a topic that was really near and dear to your heart maybe a few months ago for the whole Switch hype built up. Because you were an Xbox guy. That's who you were. You were Mr. Xbox.
Sure.
So what are your concerns with Xbox, man?
So I mean I do have some concerns for where they are, and I don't want to make them my personal concerns. My personal concerns are that I just don't like playing console games, and so that was revealed to me whenever the Switch was revealed. So I'm just a handheld gamer, and the Switch just fills that need so well. But we talked about this a lot when the S came out, and how Microsoft had a couple of months of being number one in the NPDs for hardware, and the question that we answered or asked then was, is this a turning point in the console? We call it console war, but is this a turning point in Sony's domination, or is this just a flash in the pan because of a new console? And then along with that, PlayStation Pro was announced. That was we going to be coming out. So we had a couple of months where it was like, are these people just waiting for a Pro? Are these people really buying an Xbox One S because that's what And so we didn't know, and we said that it would really kind of see after December, January time, we would kind of see where those NPDs fall, and that would answer the question for us. So now here we are, we sit in March, and Sony's back on top, and they have been. And so Microsoft did their best effort releasing the S, and they still cannot get a foothold.
Right.
To be completely honest with you, I don't know how many more PlayStation Sony can sell. I mean, they are selling off everybody that I see. I tell them not to buy one because it's garbage, but they still keep buying them. So
because you're wrong.
Fair enough. No. So look, PlayStation's great. This is not a conversation about whether PlayStation is good or not. This is really a conversation of what does Microsoft do. Now, we are on the precipice. We're really close to E3. E3 is a couple months away, and we know that we're going to get Scorpio. I 100% think that Scorpio is going to be revealed before E3 in an event. But by the time we get to E3, we will know what's going on, and we'll get release date. We'll get price. We'll know a little bit more of what we're looking at for there. But to be honest with you, man, I mean, even if the Scorpio launches at the same retail price, so that's $399.99, which is where the PlayStation 4 Pro is at, I don't know if it's enough, man. I don't really know what Microsoft can do at this point to regain ground. I just don't know if it's possible.
Right. Yeah, I mean, the whole reason they had such a strong hold before with the Xbox 360, I mean, the generation before that, it was pretty long, but it was great that they were the first ones out, right? They were the first ones out of the gate by a whole year. So they had that whole year. They were the first HD gaming console, right? And that was big news. It also had an HD DVD player. Remember that? It was great.
I had one.
Right.
I had King Kong, HD DVD King Kong.
But they also had the exclusives, right?
Sure.
They had a better online infrastructure. They had achievements. They were the first ones to have achievements, right? And so they had all these things, all these new things people wanted to try. They wanted to try achievements, and they wanted to try this new, this paid online, which they had on the Xbox, but they really perfected it with the Xbox 360. And it was the first time online community was really there. And so once people hopped on, right, they were there from the end. And they had all these great exclusives from third-party companies. Well, now this generation, everything's flipped, right? Because Xbox One stumbled out of the gate, right? They had a horrible launch. The presentation was bad. The communication to the audience was bad. It was just a mess. And they're $100 higher. And I don't know if that was because they were I don't know, prideful of how great the 360 was. I thought, just like what PlayStation 3 came out and they said, you'll pay $600 for this because you love PlayStation. Well, that Xbox should know that doesn't work. So losing that foothold, I don't know if they'll ever be able to get it back, because the problem is PlayStation has always been a worldwide brand, right? Xbox has always been an American brand. And so now that they've lost America to PlayStation, I really don't know how they're going to get it back.
Well, so here's the thing. I don't necessarily think everybody's going to argue that Microsoft was being prideful when they released, the price. I don't necessarily think that was the case. I do not think that Don Matrick was a great fit for Microsoft, which is obviously why he's not there anymore.
Sure.
But I think it was all Connect. I think that as of E3, PlayStation was also going to include the camera with the system, and they were going to charge the same price. Mm-hmm. And I think that whenever Microsoft came out and said that that was what was happening, and PlayStation was like, this is where we draw the line. Mm-hmm. We're going to give gamers the option to do this, but we are going to lower the price by $100, and we're going to give them just a console. Right. If Microsoft would have came out day one and did the same thing, we'd be having a completely different conversation. Right. You could actually argue it was a year later before Phil really just kind of dropped the Kinect. You could almost argue that PlayStation had a year head start here, because
that's very true.
Just didn't catch the audience until they finally brought Phil in and started going after the gamer again. Now, here's the big difference. If you look at the numbers, PlayStation 3 outsold the Xbox 360. People don't realize that because the 360 by the end,
it doesn't even matter.
So
just eat your crackers. Go in your corner, eat your crackers.
the argument that people have, is that
he's busy playing the 1-2 switch game where he's eating sandwiches. Only says he's eating crackers. Yeah, that's why his jaw is so strong.
Except for it's real life. Oh gosh! Yeah, my gosh.
I gotta put something into this conversation.
Okay.
On Xbox.
Hang on. Anyway, what I was gonna say is that I think that people like to think that the 360 was the winner last generation because they were so dominant for so long. But at the end of the day, they still didn't win last generation. They didn't win their first generation. That was a GameCube and a PS2 generation that PS2 dominated. PS3 ended up winning last generation, and they're steamrolling Microsoft right now. So, what can they do?
Well, Brant, I'm going to bring you into this conversation. I'm going to reel you in, okay? let me ask you, man, because you're a PlayStation faithful, right? You are a diehard PlayStation fan. Now, there are some lunatic PlayStation fans out there, right?
Oh, man,
not naming any names, but some of those groups out there, man, people are like diehard, in your face, PlayStation or die. But let me ask you, man, what about PlayStation makes you so dedicated?
What about PlayStation? Oh man, that is a good question.
Because if we can kind of unbox that, right, and find out why you're so dedicated to PlayStation, maybe we kind of twist that and figure out what Microsoft wants to do.
The service, and just that I've never had a problem with anything PlayStation.
What about when your PS3 got hacked and you got all your credit cards stolen and all that wonderful stuff?
That didn't happen to me, man.
You told me that when the PlayStation 3 hack happened, you got your credit card stolen.
Okay, but there was a protective program there.
Right, there was, but still, you guys.
So still, I understand what you're saying. But as far as like hardware making and all the stuff I've ever bought, nothing has broken, or I've never had doubts about buying something, even. The small stuff like Move, I've had enjoyment out of those.
I like to move it.
Like to move it.
See, how does it? You like when people sing in the middle of your conversation, Josh?
I do.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Okay,
actually, it gets me in that.
Let me ask you a question too. Then, since this
he didn't finish my question.
Yeah, he did. Yeah,
no, he only talked about hardware.
But the game, the games. That's why I love what PlayStation does. That's why I love what they bring to the table, and Xbox doesn't have that. And I was going to hit on the people I grew up with.
How you doing?
How you doing, baby? No, the Chris, the the Xbox that we grew up with Halo and Gears of War, and that's just not where I want to be anymore. And many of us that have grown up, it's just a series that you don't really care about. Like, we think the games are awesome still, but it's just like, okay, who cares really, you know? And I didn't see that much hype for Halo this year, or even Gears of War 4.
And even Gears is awesome. Gears is still by far the best Xbox series. Love it. But
it's just a bro shooter.
Well, the story's much better.
That's what I thought.
That's what Chris thought before. And then I brought him in and he realized how great it was.
That's a different topic. Keep going.
Right. Okay. But I do think that is part of Microsoft's problem. I completely agree. It's exclusives. Because all they have is Gears and Halo, right? Halo. And Forza, right?
Forza
and Crackdown, right?
Crackdown.
But with Halo, they even kicked themselves with Halo this generation. They said, we've got this Master Chief collection. It's going to have all the Master Chief games. It's going to be great. And that thing still doesn't work properly. Like, because the online is so goofy on it, right? And so, right, no, I completely agree. But they promised more than they could deliver, right?
Sure.
Although they did, now I literally have every single Halo game on my Xbox because of that collection. Because they gave out Halo, was it Reach? I think was the one that wasn't on there. Or ODST and Reach are both on there now for free, so they're all there, which is awesome. Yeah. But Nintendo needs to go back. Now, Nintendo. I keep saying Nintendo. Xbox needs to go back, right? Because look at the original Xbox. They have all these great games, right? Like, they're bringing Voodoo Vents back, which is great, right? I know, like, the guys who are at IGN, they always joke about bringing back Blink the Time Sweeper, right? But that was an Xbox exclusive. Like, there are these, because back on the original Xbox, they kind of did what PlayStation does now. They took a lot of chances on a lot of franchises, right? And most of them never came back. I mean, they're trying to bring back Phantom Dust now, right? But they need to go back in their catalog and pull stuff out. They need to show, look, we have exclusives too.
See, I would argue that they need to go after new stuff. Like Halo and Gears is great because Halo and Gears were original IPs that came to their system.
Right.
Horizon Zero Dawn is a franchise. Mm-hmm. And it just
came out. Another franchise. And they started another.
It's just like that. That's what they need. They need another game that's going to come out. That's going to be this. You know, they launched the Xbox One with Rise, which I thought was a very good launch game. Where the crap is it?
Well, like, Crytek almost closed their doors. That was the problem. Well, here's the thing.
None of that matters. They need more games. Like that's it.
Here's the thing that drives me crazy. Like with Insomniac, Sunset Overdrive, one of the best games this generation. It is awesome. It is so good. And people have asked Insomniac, where's Sunset Overdrive 2? And they say, we want to make it. We have plans for a sequel. We've got we know what we want to do. Microsoft won't talk to us. And it's like, what are you doing? You have an excellent exclusive IP. Why are you not using this? And Insomniac came out and said, but we own the IP. And if we're going to make a sequel, we're going to make it one way or another. Yeah. So that means Insomniac, because they're letting go of this amazing exclusive. Why aren't they using this to their advantage? So like good. it just blows my mind. Like if you played Sunset Overdrive, this isn't really spoiler because you have to watch till after the credits and all that. I mean, they kind of leave it on a cliffhanger. There's plenty of room for Sunset Overdrive 2. We should have had that years ago, right? How long ago did Sunset Overdrive come out? 3 years? It was like right around launch. Like it was like the first year of the Xbox.
I'm pretty sure it was the second year. I think it was second Christmas.
So I just don't get it.
And then they're just giving us stuff that we don't care about.
So it's my turn to ask Josh a question.
No, Josh is mine.
This may be.
Don't fight over me, guys.
That's what I heard. So this may be kind of a good way to kind of wrap this conversation. So Josh, boxers or briefs?
Briefs.
Oh, very nice. That's good. No, here's the question. You are a PlayStation fan, right? You love PlayStation. You just got a Switch. You love your Switch, yes?
Yes. Oh yeah.
You never owned an Xbox, right?
He had a 360.
I had a 360.
Oh, you had a 360.
I bought one.
But it red ringed on multiple times. You got rid of it. Same reason I got rid of mine.
So here's the question. You have your PS4 now. You love your PS4. You're happy.
Right.
What does Microsoft have to do to get you to walk into a store and buy an Xbox One,
Yes.
or furthermore, an Xbox Scorpio this fall.
That's
Nothing.
well, much like what Nintendo did to win me over,
Which is
and that's the thing. It's hard to, the console just appealed to me with what it could do,
Mhm.
and then Legend of Zelda. But that's before we even knew the reviews. Like,
Right.
I was excited to play another Zelda, but it's totally blown expectations. I'm so glad I have a Switch now, or else I'd be missing
Crying.
out on this awesome game. And
Well-
that goes back to Xbox, because if they showed the amount of care to bring exclusives to their console,
Mhm.
like if they had a From Software game like Bloodborne come out for it, then I'd be like, I almost have to feel obligated to buy this thing just to play that game, because everything I want to play is on. And that's the problem with Xbox in the first place. You can
Right.
play all their games on the PC. You don't.
Right.
It
Yeah.
costs a lot more, but that's they're fighting that uphill battle too, and Sony's winning because you can only play Horizon on a PS4 or Pro. You can only play Bloodborne on the PS4.
Well,
or
you can
Pro.
play remote now too,
Uncharted.
right?
Yeah, yeah.
Because you can play
well,
on. You can technically play it on
But
PC
you
and
still
Mac.
have to have a PlayStation to do
I
it.
think you still, yeah, you still have
right.
to play,
Yeah.
but still,
Now,
you just own a PC to play Gears or Halo.
yeah. Well, not Halo. Just Gears and Forza.
Really? Okay. I don't know.
Because it's not every game, but Brent, I do think that's, whether we like it or not, that's where Xbox is headed, right? They don't care about hardware as much as we think they should. They care about the software. They care about the software sales. That's what they've always been about, right? Microsoft Office. How many times you bought Microsoft Office? And Windows. How many times you bought that software, right? They know software. They want to sell software. So it's actually, honestly, pretty generous of them to say, if you buy it on Xbox, you get it on PC. You buy it on PC, you also get it on Xbox. So pretty much what they're doing and what they're trying to make the Xbox is say, we know you're
That's
PC.
not
We know
what I
you're a PC gamer, right? But let's say you're off at college. Let's say you're off out in the living room, which is you know all the way on the other side of your house. You don't have to drag your PC all the way out there. You just set this under your TV. Boom, you're playing your PC games. That's what they want it to be. They want it to be about software. They don't care at all about the box itself.
Yeah, and that's
That's the problem.
probably what's hurting them. So it's not working.
Right,
Obviously.
Right, but I'm honestly thinking about the Xbox 360 generation, right? Outside of Gears, did they have any other first-party exclusive content on the 360? Because I mean, Gears, Alan Wake. I mean, there's like, yeah, Fable. That's another one. Why aren't they bringing Fable back? Like, it just, they're just making so many decisions that are just driving me crazy. Because if they should have, we're what, going into year 4 of Xbox One? Or year 3?
Yes.
Year 4,
No,
right?
this is
Year 4. It's like, why don't we have a Fable game? That's one of their most
They
popular
did, but
series. It got
Canceled
canceled.
it. Yeah. Yeah.
It's
It
like,
isn't even what people wanted.
right. It's like,
Yeah,
you know what they should be doing? When they knew it was going to be canceled, they should have said, here's all 3 in a package remastered. Why didn't they do that? Right? There's like, it's just, there's so many
Gave Rare
mistakes they're
Replay.
making. Right.
That's
right.
one of the reasons they own the Xbox One.
Right. It is Rare Replay. Rare Replay is great. And that's the other
Replay's-
thing. Why aren't they using Banjo-Kazooie? They now own
They've
Banjo-Kazooie.
totally ruined Rare.
Right. It's like, I don't, it doesn't
And
make
Sea
any
of
sense.
Thieves, I'm sorry, guys, it's going to be.
I don't think it's
I
going to be.
do.
It's going to be an online
Why
multiplayer
do
game.
you think you're going to play with a bunch of friends that way, though? I mean, come on.
I know.
It
just doesn't happen.
It's
right.
not going to work.
Well, let me ask you this, Brant. If it was on PlayStation, would you have a different tune?
No, I wouldn't care. I wouldn't play it.
Like, I agree. I don't think that game is for us. That game is for, like,
I don't know who's it for.
I don't know.
I
Yeah.
really don't know.
I want to say it's like for the Minecraft
I'll tell you who it's for.
because the kids aren't going to be getting online with this
No,
stuff.
no, it's for PC gamers. That is a PC game. Microsoft is turning into a PC company.
Yeah.
That is the direction that it's going.
Right.
And I don't know if they can sustain a home console business if that's the direction they continue to go.
Okay. Well, let me wrap this whole thing up. One final quick-fire question. Is Scorpio going to be the last official Xbox home console? Chris,
Absolutely.
go. Josh,
Absolutely.
what do you think?
Yeah, I think so. There's no need for another.
We'll see. We'll see what happens. Because, I've mentioned on the show before, there's very rarely have they been able to sustain 3 consoles at one time, right?
Let me give a small caveat. I would say
Okay.
that I think by the time Scorpio runs its cycle, so let's say 5 years, I think the technology and the infrastructure will be there to stream games. And so I do think that you will have that Microsoft will go service-based. They will be a PC company, PC games, and they will sell like a Apple TV or an Amazon Fire Stick that's Xbox branded, where you can stream all of their PC games to a TV.
Sure.
So I do think something like that will be there. So I do think they'll make additional hardware, but I think it'll be their last dedicated disc-based home console.
I mean, honestly, I think Xbox can turn it around. I mean, I love my Xbox One. It is fantastic. It's a great system, great hardware, great interface. I love everything about it, right?
Great controller.
Amazing controller. But what they need to do to save themselves, right? They need the exclusives, first of all. They absolutely need the exclusives because that's the reason to buy a console. If someone has a PS4, why are they going to buy an Xbox One? Now, here's the thing. I own an Xbox One, and I see so many reasons to buy a PS4. But if I was in the other camp, why would I buy an Xbox One? Outside of Gears, why would I buy an Xbox One, right? That's really the
And
issue.
Scorpio will die based on its exclusive lineup, which I don't think it'll have any.
Well, right, and I agree. I completely agree because the thing I'm wondering is if you look at this generation, sure, they screwed up coming out of the gate, right? But since then, they've done everything right that they can, right? We got backwards compatibility, right? I mean, they've been updating the user interface, which is great. They've been they got what's it called, Xbox Pass. Like, there's all these great things they're doing, and that's how they're trying to turn it around. But those things, that's the icing on the cake. That is not the cake itself. The cake itself is exclusives. That's what they need.
Yep.
But okay, guys, what do you think? Is Xbox Scorpio going to be the last console for Xbox, home console for Xbox? What can they do to save themselves? Do you think Xbox is doing fine? Are we all completely crazy? Let us know down in the comments. That would be awesome. But we hope you enjoyed this new episode of The Break Room. No, I can't even say it. I totally screwed it up. Water cooler conversation in your face.
In your face.
Right in your face.
But with that, guys, until next time, we are out.
Bye.
Bye.
We hope you enjoyed this content from the life of gaming. If you like what you saw, be sure to subscribe down below. You can also catch our weekly podcast every Sunday on iTunes, SoundCloud, and the Google Play Store. You can find us on Twitter @LifeGamingPod and on Facebook. Until next time, we are out.